In this video, I'll introduce you to distributed power management. And the VMware Certified Associate level exam really focuses on you having an understanding of many features. You don't have to be an expert on any particular feature, but you have to understand the basics of a lot of different features and what their use cases are. And distributed power management is one of those features. So here's how DPM works. First off, you have to have a DRS enabled cluster. We have to enable distributed resource scheduler. And once that's enabled, we can enable DPM, or distributed power management. And here's how distributed power management works. Maybe during some hours of the day, like let's say at noon Eastern, you have these 4 ESXi hosts that are very heavily utilized. You have a lot of people at the office and a lot of customers, and things are chugging right along, and you really need all 4 of these ESXi hosts running and the resources of all 4 ESXi hosts. But after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., when the workload really starts to dwindle, maybe the average utilization of these hosts goes down to like 30% or 40%. The usage drops after a certain hour. And at that point, it would be ideal if we wanted to save some power, maybe we can take some of these ESXi hosts and power them off. So let's say that DPM has concluded after monitoring for a while that we could power off ESXi 04 and that the performance impact of doing so would be minimal. What DPM will do is it'll place this host into what we call standby. And in standby mode, what happens is ESXi 04 is powered off. Right? It's powered off, it's not working, and all of the virtual machines that were running on ESXi 04 were vMotioned to other hosts, right? So that all the VMs are still running, but because the usage is so low, we don't need as much horsepower as we normally would during business hours to actually run all of those virtual machines. So, during periods of slow usage, one or more of the ESXi hosts in this cluster could potentially enter standby mode, in which case the host is actually powered off. Now, let's say fast forward to 8 o'clock the next morning and usage is starting to ramp up. Right? Our resource demands are starting to get higher. At that point, DPM will bring that 4th host back out of standby mode using wake on LAN. So essentially, a command will be sent to that host by vCenter saying, good morning, it's time to wake up. It's time to power back on. And the host will power back on, and then DRS will start to do its thing and balance the workload across that cluster by moving VMs back to ESXi 04, and then we'll run at full strength during the busiest parts of our day. That's really the purpose of DPM, is to automatically power off hosts when they're not needed and automatically bring them back out of standby mode when they are needed.